Good morning and welcome to a quick live that I've decided to do this morning. I thought I'd speak to everybody and just kind of have a quick chat about kind of the aftermath of the photography show and what we've got going on for the next couple of months, really, and just kind of really speaking to photographers and creatives out there that are having problems. We spoke to a lot of people at the photography show, and unfortunately, I didn't get as much time as I'd like to be able to speak to everybody. Really speaking, because my son Ethan managed to break his leg skateboarding, but unfortunately, I had to leave on the Sunday and come back on the training for the Tuesday. I did get an opportunity to speak to a few people, and thankfully, he's 3 weeks in and it's all healing as it should. Okay, so what I want to speak to you about, what I want to speak about this morning, I think a lot of this is the fact that we're getting a lot of photographers coming to me and saying that they've run out of space on their hard drives, their Macs and PCs are slowing down, and when you start keeping up with the latest operating systems, installing the newest operating system as soon as it comes out, you're gonna get those issues. My best advice really is to look at giving it at least 12 months before you upgrade to an operating system. It's only now that I've switched to Mac OS Monterey, and you've got Ventura coming out supposedly later in the year, although the dates are normally around sort of end of October time. But for the moment, those of you that are still on Big Sur, that's a great operating system. Stay on. Things are going to work on there. The other thing as well I wanted to show as well, so I'm going to switch to my screen here and let's have a little look. So I'm going to show my entire screen here so that you can kind of see what I'm doing. All right, so if I go to Apple and about this Mac, okay, it's going to show the spec that I've got here. So you can see I've got M1 Pro is the 32 gig. In here you'll find the storage. It's about half full. It's a good idea to keep your storage at least no more than half full. We recently had a photographer that had issues where the hard drive was full because they were storing photographs and other data and information on it. And essentially it does mean that the operating system doesn't have enough room to kind of expand when you're launching applications and things like that. So if you just come into here, ideally you want about at least half of the drive available. If you click on excuse me, if you click on manage here, it'll give you some recommendations. You can set it to empty the bin automatically. I don't turn that on normally because I like to control when I dump stuff out of the bin. Store in iCloud is good if you want to store your desktop and your documents, any photographs, anything that's on your desktop that gets dumped there will get stored in the iCloud. It does keep a copy locally as well, so just be wary of that. Things like documents, you can see which is the biggest stuff and which is the smaller stuff at the moment. If I hit the space bar there, I can see I've got a load of footage from like skiing holiday and bits and bobs, stuff that really doesn't need to be on this drive. And if I look down the bottom, it'll show me where it is, and I can ultimately get rid of that if I want. Downloads as well, anything that you've finished using, anything that you're not using. If you switch to kind here, it'll sort it into what kind of video it is, and you can have a little look through and just dump all the stuff that's no longer suitable. Like there's some more QuickTime movies and some things on there as well. Unsupported apps as well. If you've got any apps that aren't supported, hence unsupported apps, If you have got any apps in there that are showing a little white circle with a line through it, that'll tell you that those will no longer work on this. And although I've cleared mine out, anything in the list you can click on and you can click delete, and they will remove then as well. Large files is always good, obviously, because you're just going to see which is taking up the most space. There are, look, there's DJI Assistant. Those are like that's an old exe file for Windows. I accidentally downloaded the wrong one. So I can hit delete on that. There you go. And I can delete that. And that will dump into my trash bin. That's a good way of getting loads of space out of there as well. Things like music as well. If you've got loads of music that you store on there, you can get rid of that. Photographs, Parallels VMs. So I use Parallels Desktop. It's an application to run Windows. On my Mac, I can use, you might not necessarily see that, but I can use that to get rid of stuff. So look, these are all the things that are in my messages, things that I've been sent, videos that I've sent to people. If everything's stored in the cloud, you can literally just dump them and get rid of them as well. So yeah, so that's quite an easy way to get rid of quite a lot of things to start off with. Okay, the other thing to think of as well is every so often, as a Mac user, if you go into applications and utilities, running disk utility brings up this menu. Now, if your hard drives are starting to slow down as well, one of the things you might want to do is you'll probably see it, you might see it like this, okay? Or you might see it like this, okay? This little icon here allows you to kind of change. I would use show only volumes at the moment. You can go into detail, show all devices, and it'll show all the partitions. So on the left here, you can see this is the internal hard drive of my Mac. As I click the drop down arrow here, it shows me that there's one drive with two partitions. So it's effectively split into two. One of them contains all the recovery data and everything else, and the other one contains my username, my data, and stuff like that. So every so often you're going to want to hit first aid and run that, and that will detect and repair all your errors, and should, if you haven't done it, speed up your computer. So that's going to work quite well for you as well. The one thing I will say is that you should be doing this as a Mac user. If you're using your computer every day, then ideally you need to be doing this every couple of months. As photographers, we need to look after our equipment, and that's not just camera equipment as well. That's also computer equipment as well. So if you run out of space, if you're looking for backup help or anything like that, then we'll be able to help. You can drop us a message. I'm going to post a little link where you can book in a session if you're stuck, if there's anything going on that shouldn't be happening for you. This is now kind of busy booking time for photographers and wedding photographers especially, and now is really the time where weddings are starting to calm down slightly, to be able to get in and get all your equipment serviced and get things done. So hopefully this has been of interest for you, and please reach out. Feel free to drop me any questions. Many thanks. Thanks for listening, and you can find the web address to have a little look about what we're about just by there. Thanks a lot. Have a good day.